Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. We're so glad you tuned in. Welcome to our new viewers today. You'll be so glad that you joined us. We have such a special day. And happy Father's Day. I appreciate all the father expressions in our world. And what a blessing to be a father, and what a blessing to have that fatherly energy around us. Happy Father's Day. I got a really cool service planned for you today. At the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living, we celebrate this thread of truth and wisdom that comes through all philosophies and religions. And our speaker today is a relatively newly ordained Rabbi, Bachman, a dear friend of the center. Anyway, look forward to that and some great music. And we're going to start off continuing our theme of mindfulness for this month of June. This song by Colby Calais, Think Good Thoughts. Think good thoughts. Will you think good thoughts? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I'm just gonna say it. There's no use in delaying. I'm tired of the angry hanging out inside me. So I quiet down the devil. I'm gonna hit him with my shovel. Then I'll bury all my troubles underneath the rubble. When I'm in a dark, dark room, I have to tell myself to think good thoughts, think good thoughts. Imagine what the world would be if we would think good thoughts. Stop the bad from feeding. I won't let negativity become my enemy. I promise I won't let it get the best of me. That's how I want to be. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Now I'm not saying that it's easy, especially when I'm moody. I might be cursing like a sailor till I remind myself I'm better. 'Cause words can be like weapons. When you use them, you'll regret them. Oh, but I'm not gonna let them take away my heaven. And when I start to feeling blue, I remember to tell myself to, think good thoughts, think good thoughts. Imagine what the world would be if we would think good thoughts. Stop the bad from feeding. I won't let negativity become my enemy. I promise I won't let it get the best of me. That's how I want to be. I'll think of rain on a summer night, stars filling up the sky, the sun shining on my face, making a secret wish, finding my happiness. That always makes me hold my head up high. I wanna hold my head up high, so high. Whoa, think good thoughts, think good thoughts. Imagine what the world would be if we would think good thoughts.
Good morning. I am so grateful to all of you who are out there love streaming our services here at the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. We are so very happy to have you with us this morning. My name is Linda Brewer, and we are a spiritual community where all are welcome to be part of our virtual community and services. And we pray that one of these days you'll be welcome right here in this building with us. We are looking forward to that. Our practitioner holding high watch from home is Wendy Condi. Throughout the service, she will be in prayer, knowing that the best and highest is unfolding as we share this sacred time together. And our practitioner doing our prayer and reading this morning is Teresa Martin. Our center is a spiritual community that teaches a philosophy for daily living based on spiritual principles and practices that are universal among religions. We honor every pathway by which people seek to know and connect with the divine, and we work on our individual consciousness so that we can help make the world a better place. Part of how we do that is thinking good thoughts, and that song can go through my head all week. So wherever you are, I invite you to join us in saying with feeling our purpose statement. We are an open, welcoming community, celebrating our divinity, loving our humanity, and nurturing our journeys of spiritual discovery. Thank you. Please don't forget that for all the latest information and inspiration, you can visit our website at www.spirituallyfree.org. Our theme, as Rick mentioned for this month, is Mindful Mavericks. And I'm so excited, Alan, to have you back here. Rabbi Alan Bachman is going to be talking to us on mindful speech, the power of the word, and I can't wait to hear it. And next week, I'm so excited, our speaker will be our beloved Shemaine Charette. So we're doing well by you. We encourage all of you to sign up for our weekly email newsletter so you can keep up with what's going on. Regularly visit the announcements page on our website for all the latest information from our center, from our home office, and any important updates from our community leaders on COVID-19 resources. I want to remind you again, there is one painless way that you can contribute to the center if you're an Amazon shopper. If you just sign up for Amazon Smile at no cost to you. What? Who's yelling what? And designate the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living as your recipient, then you can, every time you log in and purchase something, a very small percentage of what you spend, Amazon will donate to our center. And if everyone watching would do that, it would help us a lot since our expenses remain the same while contributions are down a little bit, understandably, during this time. Some of you have been asking, so I want all of you to know what's going on with that. We do have an almost complete plan for that which is necessary for us to reopen safely. Though in light of the recent surge of cases here in Utah, we do not think it is time to do that yet. Reopening will be very labor intensive. So we are looking for someone who is willing to chair the team, to recruit and organize the volunteers that will be needed to implement that process, which has many different parts. So if you're interested in leading that team of volunteers, or if you want to volunteer to be present and assist with those reopening duties, please send an email to office.assistant@spirituallyfree.org, or click on the Contact Us link on the website and let us know that you're interested, and someone will get in touch with you. In these challenging times, it's especially to remember the blessing of prayer, and that we have professional prayer practitioners who are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer, who are just standing by waiting to pray with you. If you go to the website and click on the Submit a Prayer Request, it will go out to all the practitioners who will pray for you all week. And if you'd like to talk with one of them in person, just say so in your request, and we will have a practitioner call you. So, right now I want to invite you to allow Teresa's reading and the centering music to open your heart and prepare you to connect to that sacred space within, and then Teresa will speak her word in prayer.
The sense of taste is subtle and complex. The tongue is the organ of taste and the organ of speech. Many words we use are of the fast food spiritual variety. These words are too thin to echo experience and are too weak to bring the inner mystery of things to real expression. In our rapid and externalized world, language has become ghost-like, abbreviated to code and label. Words that would mirror the soul carry the loam of substance and shadow of the divine. The sense of silence and darkness behind the words in the more ancient cultures, particularly in folk cultures, is absent in the modern use of language. Language is still full of acronyms. Nowadays we are impatient with words that carry with them histories and associations. Rural people, and particularly people in the west of Ireland, have a great sense of language. There is a sense of phrasing that is poetic and alert. The force of intuition and the spark of recognition slips swiftly into deft phrase. One of the factors that the Gaelic that makes spoken English in Ireland so interesting is the colourful ghost of the Gaelic language behind it. This imbues the English language with great nuance, colour and power. Gaelic is such a poetic and powerful language. It carries the Irish memory. Poetry is the place where language, in its silence, is most beautifully articulated. It is crowded with words. If you look at a page of poetry, the slim word shapes are couched in the empty whiteness of the page. The page is a place of silence, where the contours of the word is edged, and the expression is heightened in an intimate way. It is interesting to look at your speech and the words you use to see if you hear a stillness or a silence. One way to invigorate your language is to expose yourself to poetry, where you will find cleansing, illumination, and sensual renewal. This is adapted from Anam Cara by John O'Donoghue.
From the brilliant sunrise There's nothing between us at all. Don't imagine there's boundaries or big tall walls. Call on love in a silent prayer. It takes only a moment, and I'm right here. I'm right here in the stars in the sky. You can feel me inside if you quietly listen. And the love that you feel in your heart comes right through any seeming unreachable distance. I'm right here. I'm right here. I never leave you alone. I'm right here. There's nothing between us at all. I'm right here. I never leave you alone. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right
And right here within, there is that power and presence that resides within each and every one. There is no place that it is not. It fills the universe with its presence. And we are the fortunate ones that have access to that. It is the truth of who we are, although we forget it often. So on this day where we are mindful of our speech and our words, I forgive myself for any words that I have spoken that have injured or hurt another. I forgive all the words that have been spoken to me that have injured me or hurt me. I forgive each and every one for any unlikely and unhappy words that have been said and spoken. Because right here within, the divine essence holds its own in its magnificence. So no words can hurt this place. They cannot hurt the divine within. They only hurt the outer persona and personality. So knowing this, I claim for myself and all who hear, this is a powerful day where we can recognize and listen to our speech, listen to our words, that they are kind, that they are helpful, supportive, and filled with love. I am indeed grateful for these blessings, for the blessings of knowing that I am one with this divine presence that is always whole, complete, and perfect, no matter what words have been spoken. So as I leave you with this blessing, I am so grateful, as together we say, and so it is.
So it is. A beautiful song written by my wife, Shemaine. We are so blessed to have this consciousness with which to form carefully our words, communicating, expressing Sometimes we fall short. It's good to remember that words are a gift.
My life is built on the words I speak. I create, I renew, I reveal. Whatever I tend to feel and think, I speak a pathway to real. Words are a gift I handle with care, allowing the content of my heart to be shared. With every word I have a choice to speak only truth and light. Integrity has such a powerful voice when I'm honest and forthright. Words are a gift I handle with care, allowing the content of my heart to be shared. My friend, your name is safe in my mouth. Your life is your own, and I bless it for myself. My vision is safe in my hands. With conscious words, I profess it. Words are a gift I handle with care, allowing the content of my heart to be shared. My life is built on the words I speak. I create, I renew, I reveal. Whatever I tend to feel and think, I speak a pathway to real.
Thank you. It's my privilege to introduce our special music and our speaker today. I left my glasses on my chair, so I'm going to bring this really close. And I want to get this right because it's really important. Alan Bachman earned a Bachelor of Science in Special Education from Syracuse University, went on to law school to pursue his interest in the legal rights of the disabled. Upon graduating law school, he joined a firm focusing on land use and environmental law. Then, Alan became an assistant attorney general for the state of Utah before going into private practice. Thank you. Alan was introduced to New Thought while living in Oregon. When he moved to Utah in 1985, he looked for a Science of Mind community and showed up at the Salt Lake Church of Religious Science. What is that? He met Raj Harus, our dear Raj, who became his first friend here in Utah. Sorry about that, Alan.
Still is.
I know. Just kidding. Raj is a genius, and he's very dear to the center, and I don't poke fun at him much, but that was fun to do. Thank you. It wasn't long before Alan was serving as a volunteer on the board of trustees here. Funny thing, while on the board of trustees in the late 1980s, Alan made a motion to change the name of the Salt Lake Church of Religious Science to Spiritual Living Center. Late 1980s. No one supported his motion. Eventually, the powers that be at our world headquarters officially changed the name to Centers for Spiritual Living. And I think that was in 2011 or 2012. So Rabbi Allen is actually a seer and revelator. He has spoken at the Science of Mind locations in Nevada, Northern and Southern California, Arizona, and here in Utah. Music has been a huge part of Rabbi Allen's life. While growing up in Rochester, New York, he studied at Eastman School of Music. Much of the music he currently composes and performs with his great band Desert Wind, which we'll hear from in a moment, includes New Thought principles, especially as elucidated by Ernest Holmes. He is married to his soulmate, Andalyn, an accomplished musician herself. Between the two of them, they have 3 children and 9 grandchildren. Rabbi Allen currently serves as the assistant rabbi at Spirit of the Desert Synagogue in Scottsdale, Arizona, and is the chair of the North American Interfaith Network. He previously chaired Salt Lake Interfaith Roundtable and the Sacred Music Night for the 2015 Parliament of Religions here in Salt Lake City. He has served as chaplain at St. Mark's Hospital and has organized many interfaith music events in our region. Rabbi Allen emerges from his ordination just this past January with a depth of knowledge and experience in several rabbinical traditions. We are so pleased and privileged to have him speak today and to hear the splendid, stirring music of Desert Wind.
Thank you very much, Rick. I'm honored to be here, very much honored. Center for Spiritual Living really was in my life at a very critical time, as it is for so many people. So you never know who's going to walk through the door or get on Facebook Live or whatever format you use and really save a soul. So thank you for being here. We are going to do a song called I Am that I wrote in the 1980s after being exposed to the teachings of Ernest Holmes and the power of the Word. As it says in the chorus, I am peace and love, I am the Word. Direct from my heart, vibrate the world. Notice that the word is in the word world. And in usual tradition, we combine different traditions from Raj, the melody, so well known throughout the Middle East, is the basis for the song. It goes doom doom, tek doom, tek doom doom, tek doom, tek doom doom, tek a tek a doom, tek a tek tek a doom doom, tek doom
hear the dolphins sing. The dolphin hears me, uniting one and all, the seventh day of the world. I am peace and love, I am the word. Direct from my heart, vibrate the world. I am peace and love, I am the word. Direct from my heart, vibrate the world. I am peace and love. I am the word.
First thing you learn in rabbinic schools, turn on your microphone. The second thing is to sanitize it. Who knew we'd be facing these times, huh? It's pretty amazing. And I think I have a slide thing to go here. There we go. Okay. So I guess you don't see me when the slides show, so every once in a while you'll see me. But we're going to be talking about mindful speech, the power of the word. You just heard that song we just sang, I am peace and love, I am the word. Direct from my heart, vibrate the world. Where does this whole idea of the word creating the world come from? In my tradition, the Jewish tradition, it comes from what we call the Torah. What most people would call the 5 books of Moses. And so just to show you how important the word is in the 5 books of Moses, I have a slide here showing the names of all the 5 books. But you'll see in English, the 5 books are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. But on the right, unfortunately, probably most of you don't read Hebrew, and I should have transliterated, we have the Hebrew names for the books. Every one of these Hebrew names has the word in it in Hebrew. It doesn't show up in the English names, but it shows up in the Hebrew names. And I'll start with the last book. What you would call Deuteronomy is actually Devarim, which in Hebrew means words. It also means matters. Words and matters. Hebrew words are often very flexible and often have more than one meaning. So you see the very last book says, remember the words, it's about the word. The next to the last book, a little more hidden. We call it Numbers in English, but in Hebrew it's Bamidbar. And you'll see I highlighted the same 3-letter root for the word in Hebrew. The Daled, the Bet, and the Resh that are in Devarim are also in the desert. Because Numbers is really Bamidbar in Hebrew, which means in the desert, in the wilderness. Well, why would we have the word as a root of the word for in the desert? For Bamidbar, in that fourth book of the book of Moses. Because think about it. What exists in the desert? If something's totally vacant, the only thing really there is God's word. And so that's why God's word is in the word for desert. In this case, in the desert, Bamidbar. The middle chapter, Leviticus, you call that, in Hebrew is really Vayikra, which means and he called out. And you'll see that right in the beginning of the chapter. That's how it gets its name. What happens when you call out? You say words, right? So once again, words are now the name of that chapter. The second chapter, which everybody probably knows from a lot of movies, is Exodus. But what most people don't know is that the Hebrew name for that chapter is Shemot. What does Shemot mean in Hebrew? It means names. Names. What are names? Names are words. So see, I've already gone through 4 books that all mean words. The very first one, the most mystical, the people call Genesis, in Hebrew is Bereshit. The first 2 letters, and I'm saying this is really hidden mystically, is that really it would be a Veit and a Resh, except for the Dagesh there, which I won't get into. We're not doing anything light in this talk, which is why we're recording it. You can go back to it and study it. I would presume that there's a theory that all three-letter roots of Hebrew really had two-letter root forms. And I think it's no accident that out of the word davar, or daber for word, is the first two letters of the entire Torah, that beit and the resh there for Genesis. The word is in that word. That word, Bereshit, does not mean in the beginning. And it's a little beyond my talk right now, and I didn't show it to you, but the very first letters of Genesis in Hebrew, that beit, resh, and aleph, are the exact same letters of the very next word that means created. And that word for created is also beit, resh, aleph. So in a way, that very first word is not in the beginning, because the word for creation or created is the very beginning of that word. So the bottom line is the word is so important in the Hebrew Torah that every one of the chapters has the word in it. So I didn't want to make this talk so long, so I put in a slide that I'm going to skip. There we go, just to show that I'm not going to show everything. So we carry on with this beautiful scripture, and we see that the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters. This is important, because what does Ernest Holmes teach? Spirit passes through law, which then creates form. This is also in the beginning of the Hebrew Torah, because it's the Spirit of God. It says the Veruach Elohim. Why does it say the Spirit of God? Why doesn't it just say God hovered over the water? Okay, Spirit, Ruach, is also wind. When you think about it, wind is really critical to voice. You know, and our spirit comes through in our voice. So the Spirit of God hovers over the water. So there's Ernest Holmes' formula. Spirit passes through law, goes into form. So you have, trying to go backwards here, the Spirit of God over the face of the waters. The next thing would be law, right? According to Ernest Holmes, and here it is here. So what happens when the Spirit of God is passing over the water? God says, let there be light. And there's light. But this is the first day. But as I will show you here, what is this light? Because it's not until the fourth day that the sun and the moon and the stars are created. So it's not that kind of light. It's not the light that we generally see. So we have to go and think to ourselves, what is that light that is created on the first day? Remember I said spirit, law, and form? That light on the first day are the laws. It's the laws of the universe. And one of those laws of the universe is gravity. And another law of the universe is that prayer works. And I will tie those two together. So you don't have the sun and moon and the stars till the fourth day. So I asked, what was the light of the first day? Our sages teach that God creates the cure before the disease. All the cures are here before the diseases. Similarly, God would create the prayer network before God would create people that pray. That's how God works. The systems come in so that then later those things that use those systems can exist. Just like gravity was created before all the different parts of the universe were created that would need gravity in order to survive. But wait, there's more to this. Here's one theory about gravity. It's called string theory. There's your prayer network, created on the first day, because remember, the sun and the moon and the stars are not created till the fourth day. So that light on the first day, the laws of the universe, is also the wireless system. As you can see right there, that's one of the theories of how gravity works. So we think, well, it's invisible, so it doesn't really exist, but it does. I have evidence that right here we're created in God's image, right? So what did we create? See my cell phone? Okay, we say this is wireless, right? But is the cell phone really wireless? Of course not. It has waves that go up to a satellite, up and down. Okay? And so in the image of the Holy One, we have created a wireless network. We have created an internet. People are watching this right now. Many people on Facebook Live, whatever format you're using, on the internet, you're also using part of this wireless network that we created. But we don't realize is God also created a wireless network, which is what helps make prayer work. So it isn't magic that prayer works. It isn't magic that our words matter. Our words matter because they travel through the wireless network that God created on the very first day. First thing God created was the network to make prayer work. What's interesting, I think today, things are so hard in this world. We're not the only ones praying. I think God is now praying too, using this network. And as I said, we're created in the image of God. That's in Genesis 1:27. So it's no accident that we created a wireless network just like God did. And then when God formed the first person, the Adam, God breathed life into the person. In the image of the Creator, person is a creator. So we too could create the world with our word. That's why our words are so very important. So I learned a lot of this. I got to give credit to the Lubavitcher Rabbi of blessed memory and Rabbi Zippel, who's locally in town, a Hasidic rabbi and extremely knowledgeable and a great, great rabbi. And I learned some of this from him. We see how the word plays out in the Torah and the power of it. Because we see when God decides the world is really going in a bad place, God gets this idea, because God's pretty young at the time, okay, of, I think it's time to wipe things out and start all over again. So God tells Noah that, I'm going to wipe everything out. But Noah doesn't say, I played checkers with these people down the street. Would you mind saving them? No, Noah doesn't say anything. Noah is pretty evolved for the time, but still not highly evolved. Okay, so Noah doesn't argue or fight for anybody's life. And the rest of the world basically is destroyed. And Noah and his family survive, as well as certain animals. But this is a very early stage. And so we don't have the climax of the Torah, the 5 books of Moses yet. We just got the beginning. So then we see, and by the way, I should say that Noah, in a sense, was the sounds of silence. Because being silent has a power too, and Noah was silent. So Noah didn't save anybody, really, that wasn't intended to be saved in the beginning, just his family. Abraham tried a little harder. When God decided that Sodom, for example, was going to be destroyed, Abraham, a little bit later in time than Noah, a little more advanced, thinks, well, I'm going to kick back on God a little bit. Okay? And so they end up in a negotiation. God says that, if you find 50 good people, then I won't destroy these cities. And Abraham negotiates with God. First, he says, what about, 45? And this bargaining goes all the way down to 10. But unfortunately, Abraham's can't find 10 good people, and the cities are destroyed. So Abraham tried a little harder for Noah. At least he argued for people, including people he didn't even know, to help save their lives. It just didn't work out very well. So we still don't have the climax of the Torah and the power of the word yet, until Moses comes along, Moshe in Hebrew. And what's special about Moses? As it says in Bamidbar 12:3, Moses was a very humble person, more humble than anyone else on the earth. So here you have a person, compared to God, now you got a person who's like the most humble. This is like the total extreme of God. Not that God isn't humble, but, God's pretty powerful. And, that doesn't have to go around talking about it. It just is. And what we find is when God decides to destroy the people, Moses, unlike Noah, who doesn't say a thing, and unlike Abraham, who negotiates, but the cities are destroyed, Moses says, you know what? Take me out of your book. In Exodus 32:32. That's like giving God the, should I say the spiritual finger? Can I say that? I don't know, but I mean, that's pretty holy chutzpah on the part of Moshe, the most humble person in the world, knowing he can be smitten in a split second because he's that close to God, tells God to stuff it. Basically, if you're going to destroy those people, you are not my God. So that's the first set of words Moses has to say, and the Torah is not in chronological order. Later, after the spies come back from Israel and report sort of a negative story, really made God pretty upset because God thought Israel was very cool and God was going to protect the people going there, and the spies coming back really sinned by having bad things to say. So Moses, once again, pleads with God and says, forgive them, because you are great in loving kindness, and you've forgiven this people from Egypt until now. So once again, Moses speaks up. And this is the key. This is where the below changes the above. God responds, Vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha. I have pardoned according to your word. So for the first time in the Torah now, we have God saying, you said something, I am changing. Because of your voice and because of your words, the universe, because God in the universe, and probably something more than the universe, has now changed. The below has changed the above. That's the climax of the Torah right there. These lines are used in the Yom Kippur service, the holy day of the year. Once a year, at the Kol Nidre service, right after Kol Nidre is recited, which I won't get into detail, these words are recited. Why are these words so important? Because this is why we pray. This is why we ask for forgiveness. Because Moses asked God to forgive, and God said, because of your words, I will forgive. So the below changed the above. More importantly, we are not victims. We don't have a God who sits on a chair and has magic fingers and then things happen. We are in partnership with God. We are in partnership with how this world gets created. So we must master our word. So that's the main point of the talk today, is the point that this whole idea that Ernest Holmes came up with about spirit, law, and form is right there in the Hebrew Torah. The Spirit of God passed over the water and used words to say, let there be light, created a prayer network, that very first light, on the first day, and on the fourth day, created the lights that we know of, the sun, the moon, and the stars, the other kind of light. The prayer network is there. It's there for us to be used. It's not hocus pocus. It's not magic. It's not any more magical than this cell phone. This cell phone works because of the law of physics, not because of magic. And the prayer network and what we say does work, not because of magic, but because the prayer network was the very first creation. So I will leave it there. I don't know if I went over time or under time. I was going to have a clock up here that maybe stepped on my toe after I went past 18 minutes, but I couldn't find that clock on Amazon. So thank you very much. It's really interesting talking to a whole audience that I don't even see, but I suppose that's how God felt at the very beginning, So I can sort of relate, because one thing we know about God at the very beginning, God was very lonely, okay? And so we're here. We're here for you, God, and we're glad that you are here for us. And so it is. Much love and blessings to all of you. Thank you very much.
I am so so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I give. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We are so blessed. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Now is our time for conscious giving, which is in our center is just another spiritual practice. It's not just about paying the bills, but we need to do that as well. Or collecting money, and like every spiritual practice, we practice giving as a conscious choice. Whether we give by check during the service, as half our members do, or by text to give. Throughout the month, we choose to give, and we give from an attitude of abundance, knowing that the abundance of the universe is already available to us. So I invite you to hold your gift over your heart and feel the truth of what you say, as together we speak our giving affirmation. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Filled with gratitude, I let this be, and so it is.
All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. I've been set free and released. I've been set free and released. The burden of my past has blown away at last. I've been set free and released. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me.
Let's hear some more from Alan and Andalyn Bachman, Desert Wind.
There are greetings that people use around the world that express peace. Because think about it, when one person meets another person, not only is it a blessing to meet somebody new, but the first thing we do is we want peace when we meet that person.
May peace be upon you and upon you be peace. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Shalom aleichem, aleichem ashalom. Salam namaste, shalom, bring peace. May peace be upon you and upon you be peace. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Shalom aleichem, aleichem ashalom. Salam namaste, shalom, bring peace. May peace be upon you and upon you be peace. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Shalom aleichem, aleichem ashalom. Salam namaste, shalom. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Desert Wind. Awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. Know that you can copy this link and share it with your friends sometime later today or Monday or Tuesday. Remember next week to invite your friends. Have a look at what remember Shemaine is speaking next week, and it's really good. I got a preview. Have a blessed Father's Day. Remember the Zoom chat discussion hosted by Reverend Myrna Hurst right after the service. You can catch that link also on our Facebook page and connect with us. Please connect with us. We miss you. We love you. Have a blessed week. And let's sing our closing song together. This is Seed to Sow. 2, 3, 4.
Some people quietly reveal in the manner of the meek. Some people shout the way they feel to a radical degree. Let me tell you about one thing I know. Everybody's got a seed to sow. Let your heart of hearts take you down the road. 'Cause everybody's got a seed to sow. Everybody's got a seed to sow. Some people sing it to express, while others hear another call. Some people speak with subtleness, some don't rely on words at all, no. Let me tell you about one thing I know. Everybody's got a seed to sow. Let your heart of hearts take you down the road. Everybody's got a seed to sow. 'Cause everybody's got different players, different souls. Let me tell you about one thing I know. Everybody's got a seed to sow. Let your heart of hearts take you down the road. 'Cause everybody's got a seed to sow. Everybody's got a seed to sow. Some